Welcome back to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is May 23rd, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And yes, I'm still keeping the new name, and well, still thinking about other ones, I don't know, but right now I like this one the best. And what is the weather like? Okay, the weather is wind speed 4.2 kilometers per hour. Temperature 31.6 degrees Celsius, and the humidity a low 52%. Wow, that is the lowest I've seen it in a long time, and it is a beautiful day. The sun is glistening off the ocean, soft, gentle waves. It is lovely today up here in Bulawaring. Let's take a look at the numbers. National new cases, 227, national recoveries, 285, and national deaths, 3. Bali new cases, 10, Bali recoveries, 6, and Bali deaths, 0. Remember, these are the numbers for the weekend, but they look good, and we are past Mudik now, and we're in the stage where it looks like we are not getting a spike, and so that is great news. And we just got a big jump in the wind. So I put my hat on, otherwise my hair just kind of flies all over while I'm talking, and it's distracting. Okay, and the main story today is something, if you are a partner in a mixed marriage and you have children, well, you know the problems that can go along with that in terms of nationality. And well, I went through this many years with my four children, and they had to make a choice. And so let's take a look at this. This article just came out today. Mixed marriage families welcome planned changes to citizenship regulation. Planned is the key word here. It makes it sound like things are going to be changed soon, quickly. Not necessarily once we go through here, but it's hopeful. So there are some planned regulatory revisions that could buy children time to consider which nationality they want to keep, because children of mixed marriages that have a father, mother Indonesian and a father, mother foreigners, they can be dual nationals until the age of 18. At the age of 18, they have 3 years to choose which one they want. Indonesia does not recognize dual citizenship, and my children all had to go through this period, and if you're an American and your child decides to give up their American citizenship and keep their Indonesian citizenship, it is expensive. When we went through this with my youngest child, we paid $2,350 for her to give up her American citizenship. And the other day, an American told me that the price had gone up again. Law and Human Rights Minister Yasona Lawli said last week that the government was revising government regulation PP number 2207 on mechanisms to obtain Indonesian citizenship, and expected the changes to offer solutions to problems faced by children of mixed marriages. Now that sounds promising. Yasona also noted that regulators were discussing the potential extension of deadline for such children's citizenship decisions. Indonesian Mixed Marriage Society, PERCA, Chairwoman Analia Trisna said that the group had been pushing the government to address the issue of children of mixed marriages who, she said, were made to choose their nationality too soon. Why too soon? Well, she said a lot of children are studying overseas still, and by the time they're 21, they're not done yet, and so they're forced to make a difficult decision. If, for example, they're living in America and they give up their American citizenship, well, that's definitely going to impact their stay there. She said, we're not just asking for the government's help. We also want to contribute to the government. Our children are our resources to help the country, she said. And Ibu Yasona said in Bali this week that the government was still gathering opinions on the revision from stakeholders, including members of the Indonesian diaspora. She said there are some suggestions that the nationality choice deadline should be increased to 30 years so that those who are studying abroad do not need to return to Indonesia. Well, 30 years, that would be better than nothing. It remains unclear how and to what degree the government will be able to revise the regulation, as it's bound by the terms of the overarching 2006 citizenship law. Ibu Yasona said that at the moment the most the ministry can do is give children of mixed marriages a multi-entry visa that lasts for 5 years while they decide on which nationality to keep. And Sally Wellesley, a member of the Society of Mixed Nationality Families, said children of mixed marriages grow up in a dual culture, and therefore focusing them to pick a single citizenship at any age is inhumane and no longer relevant amid increasing global mobility. She said, "We welcome the planned revision to the PP, but only as a temporary solution. The discussion should not end here. The solution for mixed marriage families must be dual citizenship for all family members, adults and children." And she added that under the single citizenship policy, foreign spouses in Indonesia either have to have a kitas or a kitap in order to stay in the country. And she said these were not equivalent to permanent resident status in other countries. Foreign spouses could not inherit property, she said, and would no longer be able to stay in the country if their Indonesian spouse died or if the couple divorced. Okay, we cannot inherit property, that's true, but we can stay in the country if our spouse dies or if we get divorced, depending on certain conditions. If you've been married for 10 years, you can stay in the country. I forget the exact requirements for that, but it is possible, and so that's wrong. For years, the Indonesian diaspora and mixed marriage families have been campaigning for a revision to the 2006 citizenship law to allow dual citizenship, but some lawmakers are concerned that national security issues may result. And hello, this is not 1965. A bill to revise the single citizenship rule was included in the House of Representatives National Legislation Program in 2015, and it gained momentary traction when President Jokowi said that he was in favor of it. However, the bill has yet to make it to the program's priority list, which is a necessary step in order to advance it in the legislature. And according to Christina Ariani, a Golkar Party lawmaker who represents constituents abroad and in some parts of Jakarta, she said that, "I assume this is what the PP revision wants to rectify the difficulty for these children. Of course, we at the House of Representatives welcome this move." I hope everybody does. But she noted that there's not been enough support from the executive or the House to revise the citizenship law to allow for dual nationality. And what about mask and mask wearing? Okay, Zoe and I were out yesterday at the supermarket and we didn't have masks on when we got into the parking lot and we got off our motorcycle, took off our helmets. People were giving us the stares like, what are these bules doing not wearing masks? Not that Zoe's actually not a bule. Well, we put them on to go into the market, but I assumed that everybody would not be wearing them, or a lot of people would not be wearing them because of the end of the mask mandate. But apparently not everybody is up to this. Let's take a look at Gianyar. Ask when you can remove the mask. Gianyar PP Satpol said this. So according to the head of the Gianyar Civil Service Police Unit, Satpol PP Made Watha, he said that he had heard that there was an easing of the mask mandate for public places, but he hadn't been given any instructions about it. He said, while we have not received clear instructions from the center, we just wait. Before, when there was a rule regarding masks for healthy people, his party continued to provide education and outreach for the public. But, I love this, he said the mask rate had not been carried out for a long time. The last fines we imposed were in 2020. Exactly my point. Why have these rules if nobody is going to enforce them and nobody is going to follow them? So, sometimes it just gets so maddening. I've already talked before about rabies, and BAWA, the NGO BAWA, is in the news. NGO BAWA against head of Jembrana Health Office who suggested killing stray dogs. The Bali Animal Welfare Association BAWA, which is based in Ubud, has opposed a suggestion from the Jembrana Health Service that stray dogs should be killed or eliminated in order to treat rabies. BAWA assessed that the elimination of stray dogs does not solve the problem of rabies, which is currently re-emerging in Bali, including in the Jembrana Regency. According to Cynthia from BAWA, if there's a sufficient budget for a large-scale elimination and stockpiles of strychnine poison are needed to do so, it's better to use this budget for something more useful, namely a methodical and robust mass vaccination scheme. She said the dog vaccination is the only proven, globally recognized method to control rabies, which has been successfully carried out in Bali several years ago. She admitted that she's worried about the increasing number of cases, but she continued, if all the unowned or stray dogs were killed, it would be very tragic. And she said there are no stray dogs in Bali. There are dogs that are in the environment and live on the beach and forest and still depend on humans to survive. Okay, so my definition would be a little different, I guess. According to Cynthia, Bali must achieve population stability and group immunity. To achieve herd immunity, she said it's necessary to vaccinate 70% of the number of dogs. Sounds like the COVID situation. It also means not killing vaccinated dogs, not dumping puppies or dogs on the street and beaches, prohibiting the breeding of dogs, which would add dogs to the population, and most of which would be discarded when sick or unwanted. And it is getting really windy up here right now. Cynthia continued, the recent response of the Jembrana government due to the increase in rabies cases was reminiscent of the early years of rabies entering Bali. She said hundreds or even thousands of dogs were killed, and that did not solve the problem. Then BAWA vaccinated continuously, then the government followed, and rabies were taken care of. Unfortunately, she said, the killing of dogs happened again, and rabies came back. When they realized it was a wrong move, the annual mass vaccination program was held again in Bali, and all went well. Until COVID-19 hit, due to restrictions due to the pandemic and lack of budget, vaccinations were stopped. Vaccines for humans and dogs are scarce, and now we're back with rabies again. And this has become such a contentious issue on social media. Boy, it is heated. This is a very emotional thing. The people who believe in eliminating some of the dogs, culling them, and people who don't. Harsh words are going back and forth, and who's to blame for all of this? It's clear something needs to be done, though, before rabies gets even worse than it is right now, and it seems to be spreading throughout the island. And good news for those who want to travel domestically. AirAsia reopens Bali-Labuan Bajo service. Yes, started on the 20th, a couple of days ago, and 4 times a week service. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, you get 20 kilograms of free baggage and 7 carry-on. And so, if you want to go to Labuan Bajo, wow, now you can take AirAsia. And that is nice, 4 times a week. Okay. And what would the news be without something from Pak Sandiaga Uno, our Minister of Tourism? Sandiaga, North Bali Tourism and Development to reduce the burden on South Bali. Yes, so Pak Sandiaga said that the development of tourism in the north needs to be undertaken in order to relieve some of the pressure on the south. Well, as you know, the south is where most of the tourists are, and it is busy there. And up here in North Bali, one of the beautiful things about this is we don't have that many tourists. And so what was the development that Pak Sandiaga was talking about? Well, he said before the pandemic struck, there were 2 big plans. One was to have a railroad that will go around the island and would service up here in North Bali, so more tourists would come up here. And the second was the mythical airport in North Bali. And he doesn't, fortunately, in this article, mention that it is going to start again. He just mentions it here, that it was on the books in 2019. And so let's hope that it stays somewhere in the past and not in the present. I am not a fan of having the airport up here. And the other thing that he talked about was ecotourism in the West Bali National Park, just down this way, and that would help in the Pemutaran and the Pulamanjangan areas, and you have diving and snorkeling, a lot of good stuff over there. Less people go out into the forest and see the birds and the monkeys, and so that is something positive. With all these huge infrastructure projects going on in the south, right, they're wiping out the beach here, they're wiping out the beach there, putting in beach clubs, doing all sorts of stuff. The North is not really getting any infrastructure work that I know of, other than they're still continuing to work on the shortcut up here over just past Gilimanuk, but Gilimanuk just past Gitgit. But other than that, nothing that I have seen so far. If any of you who are located up here in the North, you know of any projects that are going on, leave a comment below. So is there going to be more tourism development in North Bali? I don't know. We will just have to wait and see. And how many times have you heard me say that? Okay, one more segment, and this is a serious one. Warning, dress like a Balinese. Bali's governor singled out for ridicule an unnamed hotel manager in the state-owned Indonesian Tourism Development Corporation in Nusa Dua, who failed to wear traditional Balinese dress on Thursday, this past Thursday, when attending an official ceremony at the Westin Resort. The governor made his remarks in reference to his long-standing decree that tourism practitioners must wear complete Balinese dress every Thursday, full moon, dark moon, and the anniversary of the province of Bali. This was gubernatorial decree number 79 of 2018. And reports on the governor's tirade of Balinese dress were carried by RadarBali.com, NusaBali.com, and BaliTribune.com. So wow, they got a lot of press on this. When asked about his public rebuke, the governor said, "When I saw the hotel manager not wearing traditional Balinese dress, I immediately scolded him. I don't want to see disorderly and undisciplined behavior in Bali. Everyone must honor Balinese culture. We need rules of conduct, good order, and discipline that truly respect the culture. This is necessary because we are a cultured nation." And all those beach clubs being built down in the south, those are indicative of Balinese culture too, I'm sure. The governor said, "Don't let tourism practitioners only focus on the pursuit of profit in Bali, with no attention to cultural conservation." Again, let's think about those beach clubs and all the fun things that are being developed here. They have nothing to do with Balinese culture. I'm sorry, but I will not allow this. So if you want to conduct an enterprise in Bali, join the effort to build Balinese culture together, so the island can grow strong and provide benefits to all. I think this is what must be created in Bali. Okay, what do you think about that? And that's it. Time to wrap up. If you found this video informative, useful, interesting, scintillating, non-irritating, humorous, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Videos are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a cooking video of my wife's on Sunday. And here is her latest one right here. Thanks for viewing. Stay safe. Be kind to someone today. And I will see you on Wednesday.